Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you, Mariah. How's your week been?
It's been okay. I'm still stressed out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um, I feel so overwhelmed and exhausted all the time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
my anxiety is has increased extremely bad. I'm having difficulty sleeping. I'm worrying about my finances. I'm feeling guilt, you know, towards, parenting, because I have like an 8-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have trouble concentrating on my work. Um, I don't have any suicidal thoughts. I promise you that. It's just gotten worse over the past 3 months. Like with work stress and an increased workload, and trying to find childcare. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm working. I'm in college. I'm trying to but I'm but I don't know if I can continue doing college because not having the money or having child support, because I really don't have any help at all, like no support,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if I should just keep going
Mm-hmm.
or and try to find ways to help, or I should just return in the future when I can manage like the school, my work, and you know parenting. Like, I have like limited social support with like one close friend that I speak on occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm a burden towards others, with all my problems going on in my life. I'm not involved in community groups, churches, or any fun activities. Because I feel like I'm so busy, I don't have any time at all. Like, I wish there was more time, but you know child care support is limited, and I rely on myself. Like, I was raised by my mom,
Mm-hmm.
since my parents separated, um when I was young. I just work full time at a medical office as a receptionist, and the pay isn't all that good, but at least I'm paying my bills. But with the staff shortages, my workload has increased more than normal, and I'm worried about my job performance with all the increased work.
Okay. So before we even dive in a little bit more, I want you to know that this is this space is very transparent and open. So I'm happy you feel comfortable enough to even start exploring how you're feeling right now and the stuff that you're going through at the moment. So, it's an open space. Feel free to express yourself, no judgment. Everything you share here will stay here and we won't explore that outside of this room. Okay?
Okay.
So just wanted to get that out there. From what you've said, I analyze the high emotions that you're going through, you're stressed, you're having anxiety, you're stressed out about, you know, your parenting style and if it's effective and if you're doing enough for your kids, and also your job is a factor also. Even though you're working, it's not providing the financial way that you would like to, but at least you're grateful, and that's a big thing to even have a job at the moment. um you don't have a lot of support around. You have a friend, but at the same time you don't like to feel like you're a burden to others, which is
Mm-hmm.
understandable. A lot of people don't want that. They might have a few support, but they don't want to over exhaust using those supports. So you're not the only one that's feeling that way. um but today, I want to ask you, like, what would you like us to focus on today? Like, what's the biggest issue out of everything that you've shared that you want to work on?
So I feel like, you know, everything I said before, I feel like a failure, like I want to be there for my child, my child's 8, like he's growing so fast and I want to have time, to do fun things so he remembers all the fun things as well and not just, well, mommy's working, mommy's going to school, mommy's stressed, mommy's so overwhelmed, and there's like, like I come home, I make dinner, I play with him, make
Mhm.
sure his bath time and stuff like that, but it's such a limited space. And then when he goes to bed and he's sleeping after I read him a bedtime story, I go immediately into schoolwork. So,
Mhm.
and that takes, a couple of hours to do.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to also ask you, when was the last time you guys did something fun and what was it?
Oh, um, so I stayed up one day just to get everything done so that way on a Saturday it was beautiful out. So it was last week. I took him to the park for a couple of hours and we, we had a little picnic, just sandwiches and, you know, and little drinks and we just had fun running around the park and
Mm-hmm.
together and playing, sliding, swinging.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was a very happy time and I want more of that.
Yeah. So, you did mention anxiety, right?
Hmm.
Um, have you recently experienced any anxiety attacks or um any breakdown, like emotionally breaking down because of the situation recently?
Yes, the other day, I just felt such anxiety, such overwhelmness, and I just broke down in tears. Like I'm a little tearing up right now, just thinking about, everything going on, and I
Mm-hmm.
just complete had a meltdown and just cried.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what do you think triggered you to feeling, or to the point where you felt overwhelmed to get to the point where you had the anxiety attack?
Um, it would be my son's birthday's coming up in 3 months, and the thought of him turning 9 and going to a new grade and the work increase and everything else that's going on, I feel like life is passing me by, especially with my son, and I feel like I'm missing such big
Mm-hmm.
events with my child because I'm so worried about everything,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like I'm not being a great mother towards my son.
Mm-hmm. So two things I can highlight to you: the fact that you mentioned you're not suicidal. So
Hmm.
you've seen that you've been to a point where it felt like too much for you, but at the same time, you want to live, you want to be here, and you want to create a better situation than what you have, right? And then secondly, to explore the fact that you're role modeling something good for your son. He's seen your strength, he's seen your hard work, he's seen your commitment and your consistency that you show your job, just going to work and doing school and taking care of him. Even when you feel like it's not enough, it's something. It's those are your strength, your consistency, your drive to push through and get your degree and to be a better version of yourself. And that's something you shouldn't put in the back and and pretend it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. It's something to celebrate. So there's a lot of things I see, I could observe from what you're saying, about your emotional situation, your mental strain at the moment, and um your drive to want to be a better person. So some things I want you to work on, for our next session is practice some deep breaths. Like in the
Okay.
moment that you feel overwhelmed and it's too much and you feel like, okay, I'm gonna have an anxiety attack. I'm panicking right now. Like this is too much. Try to breathe, count to 10 and you inhale and you exhale. Another thing is positive talk to yourself. Start off your day in the morning just looking in the mirror and find something positive to say to yourself and or try to speak things into the future of how you want your day to go. Something positive.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I want you to work on those two for next session where we will come up with a more detailed treatment plan. We'll explore your symptoms in to find a diagnosis also. And we'll collaborate together, work together to create this plan so you could achieve your goals. And we've explored some of them, like trying to get a better job, even until you graduate. I know you're working on furthering your education so you could be qualified for better jobs. But for the moment, we could explore ways you could, get a different job that's better. Also, explore the resources you have, like your friend, how much they could pour into you at the moment and help you. And I know it's hard for you to seek out help from others, but we're going to work on that.
Okay.
And then your step to getting this help, you know, just these sessions will really help you process certain things. Talking through certain things will help you like create a better environment for yourself and also for your child. That sounds
Oh,
good?
that sounds amazing. Thank
Yes.
you so much.
Today we talked about how your anxiety has affected your life, the pressure that you've placed on yourself, about your parenting and just life overall. And we addressed like you seeking out help for extra support, and just highlighting your strengths. Sounds good?
That sounds amazing. Thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like us to talk about?
Not at this time, but I'll definitely work on those goals that you set out for me.
Okay. Sounds good. Until next time, you have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
All right, bye.
Bye.